we're ready to present rock star sound designer Joonas Turner. He's worked on titles.
Wow! Crazy. Hello!
Hello. Hi.
Those are my hats. Let's do this. So, intro. Oh, it actually works. Hi. As you heard, my name is Joonas Turner, and I'm a sound designer and voice actor. And I work at E-Studio in Finland, Helsinki, Finland. As you can see, I'm really a master at PDFs. Like, that's the smallest picture ever. So yeah, that's quick. Totally not advertisement of my workspace. Cool. Some of the games that I worked on. As mentioned, I worked on games like Nuclear Throne, Downwell. Actually, Oiro has a talk right now at the same time. It's better than my one, so if you kind of feel it's boring, just do that. Nuclear Throne, Broforce, Farah, and iCloud, and Mushroom, Servo Dismount, Bleed 2, and a bunch of other games. Gun Katana, Environmental Design. Okay, you see. Next. What's my next thing? Oh, and these days, I guess you'd call me a certified professional game designer too. I'm working on my first personal commercial project called Tormentor X Punisher. Woohoo! You want to play a shitty prototype build? I have it with me. I do a lot of game jams. That's pretty much why I'm here as well. And I do a lot of mini game jams, of which a lot I've done with that guy over there, Yukio Kallio. We've done some crazy titles like Drunk Porn and Pokemons. Oh man, actually, quickly, I want to plug Pokemons. You made this Pokemon Con game where you go into gyms and you have to throw naked men at other naked men. And Petri Purho is the last boss. Alright, so this talk is more about sound effects and like sound design than music, but the pointers, lots of the pointers are actually kind of universal, be it like game design, sound design, or music, or whatever. Alright, so my approach as a sound designer is so awkward. Alright, so first off, when I start a game jam with someone, first off I'm like, so, what's the game? Is it going to be a football game, a action shooting game, walking simulator, whatever is the correct title there, boring games. What's the focus of the game? That's another thing. Like when we know what you're making, the first thing I want to like lock down is what's the focus going to be in the game. Let's say it's a football game. I would probably think, okay, the focus is in players knowing where they are in the arena, or what do you call it in football? Arena, that's like gladiators. Where you are in the field and like kicking the ball and making that feel good. Like making everything like, yes, I want to play football. Or if it's an action game, like what kind of an action game? Is it like a shooting game? Like the focus is probably in shooting and making that feel nice and juicy and kind of putting all my thoughts in that, like especially in a game jam game, you want to kind of take that one cool thing and make it just as good as possible. And that was apparently good. So good. So when I know what I want to focus on and what the game is about, that's usually when I decide on a style, and that's kind of when I get to do something new for myself and get to experiment. So why would you go to a game jam and just do the same shit you do every day? Like, do something new. Like, I might take, let's say, I made a samurai game a few years ago, and I made everything super distorted. I was like, let's make this game like... And it actually became a pretty cool thing, and I could use that, what I learned from making stuff in that style, I could actually implement that in my actual work stuff. So, experiment, like, make a football game and make all the sounds out of printer sounds or something like that, you know? You can experiment or like pop everything through like a crazy delay and see how that feels. Can you do something cool with that? Imagine like a football game. Intergalactic Football 2014. That would be so good. So, experiment. That's game jams. This is a cool thing. Oh, and when you experiment and stuff, that's not work, so you can totally fail. So, I usually personally attempt to record stuff on site. Like, was it 2 or 3 years ago here at Nordic Game Jam, I made a game with Tim Garbus and Yukio and Martin, what's his surname? Martin, the Limbo Martin, who did a cool talk about jumping. We made a game called 3:15 a.m., 4:20 p.m., what was it? That was a shitty joke. And so yeah, we made this game where you are a chair. And I was like, oh shit, that's so cool. And I just went over like around here recording chairs, and people were looking at me like, don't look at that guy. Don't look. It's like like that kind of stuff. It's so fun, and it's all recorded here, and like pretty much since then I've always tried to record everything on site. So let's say we'd make a Western game with Ojiro. I would attempt to record like all the clothes over here and like sounds over here. So cool. This is an important pointer. Give sounds along the jam. Don't save up until the end. So I've done this myself. I've learned this like from doing this. That was a stupid sentence. So like don't just keep making sounds like, oh, I have all these amazing 500 sounds, and then you bring them to the game designer at the last hour. And he's already like stressing, or she is stressing like, oh, I need to finish this game. What the fuck's this? 500 sound files here. Like you will hear exactly 3 sounds out of those 500 in that last hour. So give them along the jam. Like you're like, okay, I'm gonna make bat enemy with spikes, and you make that, and then you bring that. Like, here's the bat enemy spikes. Can you put it in, please? And they're like, yeah, sure. Like that, you will hear those hopefully 500 sounds, unless there are footsteps. So don't be afraid to fail. It's a jam. Like, who cares if you fail at the game jam? It's like, actually, we have done the ultimate fail at Nordic Game Jam a few years ago. We made this game. We had this amazing team. We had Martin Jonasson, Olli Harjolais, me and Yukio doing sounds of music, and we had Rami Ismail doing code. And he's amazing at marketing. We made this roller coaster game, and we were like, it's gonna be the sweetest game ever. And it was the worst game in human and animal history, and alien history. And we were just like, okay, we totally bunked this, fuck it, next game. Like, don't be afraid to fail. Just do something else. Like, that's a game jam. Like, you're allowed to fail here. Okay, so there are going to be some sound people working at companies who are going to hate me for this. But for me, I only use native sound engines. Technical talk. Like, this is just me. Like, don't spend all your time implementing a new tool in a game, unless that's your jam idea. I'm going to make an implementation game. That's probably the coolest game. Damn, I want to play that so bad. No. So, like, just use whatever limitations you have and just go with those. Unless you're like, hey, I'm the quickest dude implementing, and you just pop Ys or Fmod in. Good for you, but I'm not that guy. So yeah. I've done footsteps for maybe 50 plus jam games. Like I mentioned earlier, like you bring 500 sound files, you'll hear 3 in the end. But like I've always done footsteps, well not always, I've done a lot of footsteps in games, and I've heard them in not in any game that I've made, a game jam game. I've done maybe 20,000 footsteps sounds, and I've heard them in no jam game ever that I've been on. Like, if you find a programmer who's like, yeah, I'm down for footsteps, you're damn lucky. It's never happened to me. So yeah, have fun. You should get money for stressing. That's called work. Like, don't stress at the game jam. Just have fun. Like, come on. If your name working out, there's a great jam. Pull out the bar, and pick something else. Like, just make it work. Like, fuck it. quick additional bonus. Oh, shit. My approach as a game designer. And see, it's not Comic Sans anymore. Some designers don't know visual shit, right? This is 4-hour rule that I have as a game designer at game jams. I kind of learned this from JW. I think he had a talk, was it here? Like a few years ago, he was like, I don't know how many hours he had in his was it 2 hours? Yeah, he had like, if it's not fun in 2 hours, but I'm like, for me it's been like kind of 4 hours. Like, if I have a game idea and it's not fun after 4 hours, like a small game idea, that's usually a good indicator of like, don't polish a turd, it's still gonna be shit. So that's like, throw that, flush it down the toilet, and make another shit. That's like the best way. It's the best way to do stuff. Please don't do that, but like, make a game. And it's of course not always applicable if you're like doing something huge and you already know what you're gonna go for and so on and so on, and you know you have to do all these systems before you can make it happen. Then 4 hours might be a bit brutal. Oh man, your iCloud is almost full. Oh, great question. Is this really fun? Why would I play this? That's what I ask myself at game jams. Like, if I'm in a game and I'm like, I'm just making a game. Like, then I just make it and I'm like, is this fun? Like, would I actually want to play this? Is there something here that I want to explore? Or like, if someone else made this, would I want to play this? I think that's a pretty good question to ask yourself when you're making a game. Same with sound design here. Like, are these sounds like really fun? Would I want to hear a game with these sounds? So, experiment doing something you might not do otherwise. Make a genre you hate and apply the point up there. Like, is this fun? Like, take, for instance, I'm not a fan of like walking simulators or level packs as I call them. Like, okay, but what if I decide to explore that? That's like a good place for a game jam to start exploring that. Like, okay, what if I make one of these? Maybe I'll find what makes them fun. How can I make this fun for myself? What is missing here, shooting, that I want in the game? Like, let's just make Doom again. So, take a game genre you might not like and make it fun for you, or attempt to make it fun for you. If it doesn't work, scrap it and do something else. 4 hours, man. Okay. And game jams are, like I said earlier, a good opportunity to learn new stuff. Like when I was talking about deciding a style, doing something in a different style, that's essentially me learning something else in a practical environment. And I can apply that in like real life work. Or adult work, whoa. So yeah, limit yourself and learn to work limitations. That's both game design and sound design and whatever, music and whatever. It reflects a pretty realistic work-life situation, like, especially as a sound designer. We might work on like a game made in Unreal using its audio engine, a game made in Unity using Wise, a game using Game Maker and its own system, and multimedia fusion, which basically is spitting you in the face. So, you have like, if you learn to work with all these limitations of game jams, it gives you a broad palette to work with whatever your plans might bring you. It's like, yeah, I'm making this game in Twine, and you know, we have this thing, it's just looping music, and make that interesting, yeah, sure. Like, I don't know what Twine can do, but like, you know, limitations. Man, I should make a Twine game this jam. Shit. Okay. Again, have fun. Should get money for that stressing business. If it ain't working out, there's a great jam called Don't Do It. Okay. So, back to sound advice. Well, I had a separate PDF for that. Like a frame sheet. Okay. This is more for non-sound people or some people who don't really have, like, you know, the gear. So, recording on a jam budget. Damn. So, did any one of you go to Martin Qualle's talk earlier this morning? Yeah, me too. So, I was like, oh no, he's talking the same stuff I'm going to talk about, but that's cool. So you're hearing 2 times, so it must be true. You can use stuff like phone or laptop microphones, small portable recorders, even video cameras. They have usually microphones in them, and mini MP3 players and stuff, if you guys still use that stuff from the 90s. It's, well, 2000s. All these have microphones, and for a game jam, that just gives you, or even like at home doing games, that just gives you a way to record stuff and kind of experiment in that world of audio and restoration tools. There's lots of software, like free software, that you can kind of download and just start dabbling into and like kind of getting a feel for stuff, like Audacity, GarageBand, Reaper. Actually, I don't know if Reaper is free anymore. It used to be free. It should be. Video editing software. Like if you have like Final Cut Pro X or Adobe Premiere or something like that, they also have audio tools in them. You can still like pop audio, edit audio. So, and the best thing, make your own software. I mean, you guys are game people. You know how to program, right? So, I don't. Make your own software. Like, wouldn't that would actually be a cool jam idea, right? Make your own sound tools that you can utilize in another jam. Or just spend one day making a simple audio workstation. That's easy, right? Then there's stuff like SFXR, BFXR, and so on, chip like synthesizer stuff, web pages to generate sound effects. So if you Google like BFXR, you get all those sounds that every indie game uses without a budget. You know, that's like all that cool stuff. Or something. Freesound.org if you want like kind of other people's made sounds. It's really handy for that. And there's other pages like that, like Sound Bible and some other pages. But watch out for licenses. A lot of people like say, yeah, just go to Freesound, download all the shit from there. But check the licenses. You might have like Creative Commons 0, which is like just use it. Or you might have like non-commercial licenses. Like if your jam game actually evolves from a jam game into a commercial game and using like sounds that used in the jam, but they were non-commercial. Whew. Give some money to Donald Trump then, shit. Just look out for licenses, like CC0, Creative Commons 0 is pretty safe. So go for that. What did I write? Best solution for game designers. Oh yeah, right. Get a sound person on board. Like, these days, game jams are full of sound people. Like, not that long ago, like when I started doing game jams, it was like me and maybe another person, and we made like 20 games, like sounds for games at a game jam. It was really good though. I like my routine things boosted. It was really good. But how many sound people are there right now here? Holy fuck! That is crazy. Shit. Yeah, well, as you can see, there's like 150 some people here. So it's really good. Like, wow. And that was the last slide. Thank you. So any questions? Now is the time. We have like half an hour to kill. No questions? All right.
Do you also compose music, and do you have some examples of that? Yeah.
What was the last question?
Do you have some examples if you also make music?
Examples? Well, I do compose music, yeah, but like I decided long ago that I'm not a professional composer. Like, if I make a song, I just decide, like, I'm like, okay, this is what I hear. But if someone else is like, could you make it a bit happier? No. Like, that's pretty much when I decided that I won't compose for games. Like, I won't like anything professionally. But I do compose. I play in like 2 million bands and I'm from Finland, you know, we do a lot of music. But yeah, like, do you mean like examples for like a game jam kind of a situation, or?
Yeah, or like just examples on your computer that you could play, or if you have some examples of your sound design that you want to show now.
Sorry, it's not my computer running it.
Okay, no.
So.
Yeah, that's
Google. No.
If you have internet, you can YouTube.
Afterwards. Afterwards, after the talk, I can show you some stuff. Okay, so any other questions? Come on, hands up. No? I'm not sure what's that now. Oh!
You said you did nuclear for it?
Yes.
Did you do like all the, and you did only the sound effects then?
Yes. That guy did the music. You
Oh, alright.
Autographed when you.
Both done fantastic work.
Oh, thank you.
And but all the like bandit sounds and the fish sounds and all that, you did that yourself?
Yes. Yeah, I also voice act a lot in games.
Well, until you prove it, I won't believe you.
Oh no, what do you want? I mean, okay, so quick backdrop of Nuclear Throne. I made this language, like written and spoken language on Nuclear Throne called Trash Talk, which is like a language of its own. It has a syllable system. Like, it's pretty much like one word means like a full sentence. I mean, there are mutants, they don't really have the brain power to do proper languages. So, I have this sentence called flashin, which means let's do this now, that Ruff just says, and the music's go like stuff like that. Close enough. So yeah, that's me. Thank you. I saw a hand over there.
Yeah, I was just thinking, when you record things on jams, like on site, do you have any good techniques to, isolate the sounds and get so much reverb in it?
Shut the fuck up! No, it's nah, be nice. Not really. Like, if there's like reverb and stuff, let it be. But if you want to like soundproof something, bring a quilt or something, and like. I did this. I just had a game jam a few months ago where I was doing like voiceovers in a really noisy place. I had this thick blanket. I just wrapped myself in the blanket and had the microphone here, like doing vocals, and people are like, "Don't look at that guy, don't please." Like, just use like guerrilla tactics like that, like blankets, or then a good thing if you kind of can't do that and you record something and you can hear like hums or hisses or something. With an equalizer, you can like get a really like high Q thingy value, and then you just like boost it in the EQ and like find when you can hear, like, let's say you have like AC humming, and you find that like just scroll through the EQ, like just bring that down and it'll like dim down the AC hums and stuff like that. I don't know, what's that? Clear? Like, you can just like kind of find pockets with the EQ where it starts to resonate. Like you can find like hums and tones, and just like when you find the right spot in the EQ with a really like steep curve, you will like start to hear it kind of ring, and it's just like then bring it down. Kind of, that's, I don't really like denoisers and stuff like that, so I kind of do it manually like that. But I've noticed that usually gives better results. Yeah. I hope that answered anything. Anything? Oh!
I have a quick note for that. I just want to mention that we do have a nice anechoic chamber here at the university, and we have like a sound booth right up here, right outside. You can come book. We'll give you a website link or something, but you can actually book studio time to get a nice anechoic chamber without reverb and stuff like that. So you should definitely
guys are spoiled. So nice. Yeah, I did a game jam in a bus a few years ago. That was the worst. It was in Finland. We did like a little game jam on a bus. It's like people talking. Hello. Yeah. I saw another hand. Yeah.
Some sound designers tend to put into their work certain signature sounds. So maybe Bamberg always throws in
Wilderness
tree,
yeah.
Walter March always uses train. Is there any signature sound that you like to throw in every?
It wouldn't be secret if I would say it.
Is it?
There's actually a secret picture I always put in every project, but I can't show that. It involves a yellow grill. So, actually, but there's something this is kind of something different. This isn't really secret. There's extra info for sound designers that, I talked about this at my GDC talk. You can see it on YouTube. Total advertisement. So I don't get any money from it, so it's not really advertising. So what I do is I have small like impact files per project. I would like decide on just a small file that is like that fast, or even like faster than that. That holds all like base information and stuff. So you can have like really tight, punchy base by having just a small sample in front of like all the sound files, and you can like adjust the impact by just adjusting that small few millisecond clip. So like that, let's say you have a shotgun. And if you just have a shotgun sample and you want that to be like nice and bassy, like, you don't really want that just like 20 shotguns shooting at the same time, right? So I have this small file in front of every, like, let's say gunshot file. And with that, I can just adjust the bass to be like you just have like tight, nice bass in the front, but then the rest is just like the regular sample. I hope that gave some kind of insight of like having a game mix that won't get muddy after like 3 seconds. Well,
actually have a question, kind of a theory struggle, I guess, like how much do you think you can influence a piece of church after 4 hours to look interesting because of your music? Like some people say, hey, try to get the sound effects off until you know this is actually a solid gameplay stuff, because you can add a lot of fake fun with music and sound effects to a shitty experience.
that is true. That is true. But that said, I kind of personally believe that you can make a really good sounding fart, but you still smell, kind of thing. But sorry for all these really weird toilet jokes, but you know it's probably my mind telling me something. No, but that's kind of. I mean, you can kind of enhance. I mean, of course, when you bring like sounds and cool visuals to something, it will look and sound pretty. But if the game itself is kind of if someone puts it on mute, you're fucked. Or if someone turns off the screen, you're double fucked, right? But that won't save any game. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, what if you put cool sound and cool music? That might be the thing for the game. Suddenly the game feels fun. Yeah, that totally might happen. Like, I don't know. It might. I think I saw.
Yeah. Nuclear Throne was one of the games for the first time where I noticed the sound design before everything else. I really, really enjoyed it. And it got me thinking on how do you know when you found the right sounds, and how do you iterate on your work?
Oh, okay. That's actually interesting. How did you find the right sounds? So the thing is, I personally like to record as many sounds myself as possible. So I kind of look at let's say I have like a character sheet with all the characters like movesets and stuff like that. I will look at that and I would like design around that, like what do I want the character to sound like, what kind of actions is it doing. If it's like, let's say it's Fish from Nuclear Throne doing like a raw thing. I would look at him like, okay, he does like, and then he goes like, so kind of record something on top of that. Like, it's a bit like Foley work, doing stuff in sync with the characters. So it's like, I think about it a lot before doing something, and then I just go and execute it. But then stuff like, I didn't record like the basic gunshot sounds in Nuclear Throne, but I found this really kind of semi-shitty sound recording library of like gunshots that were like 70s movie era stuff, and like from a tape machine thingy. And I took those, and they kind of, I wanted the sound aesthetic, or like the sound world to be kind of a 70s like C-grade action movie, or 80s C-grade like action movie kind of soundscape. So I like kind of tried to find stuff that would fit in that palette and edit that and add my own sounds on top to kind of emphasize in what I want to bring forth. So it's like, when do I know that I found something? Well, it's kind of, it's easy to find something that you want to use when you have put your thought process behind the design. And it's just something, you're just fulfilling the design that you wrote in your mind. Like, when I start on games, I usually, like, this is not game jam games now, it's more about commercial games. I usually take a few weeks to just design. Like, not really do, maybe dabble and try some various audio stuff, but it's usually just me writing on paper, actual analog paper, and just like kind of rooting out what I want to do, and then I just start kind of recording stuff to fulfill these gaps. And like, if I can't record it myself, like lions and stuff, I would just go and find that kind of stuff that kind of fits what's in my mind. It's a long process, but sometimes it is pretty fast. I don't know, I hope that answered in any way, maybe.
Yeah, I was also wondering about your iteration process. How many people do you take into the consideration? Like, do you do play tests as well with sound?
Placeholders?
No, play tests. Like when
Oh.
you test out the gameplay, you also test out your sound with the video.
Yes, I mean, it kind of comes naturally. I'm sorry if I follow, but like, let's say we made a game and we put sounds in it. And usually that's a point if you have like, depends on your team size, but there's usually more than you playing it. You kind of ask people what do they feel about it and stuff like that. And then when you go to like events or whatever or wherever you go and like let people play it, you can just kind of just look at them playing the game with the sound on. If they're like, you're probably not doing something right. If they're like, shit, oh, wow, that really felt like kicking the ball. That's probably good. But yeah, then you might ask like, oh yeah, what did you think about the sound? If you ask that, they will always go, yeah, it's good. But if you like sneak in, like at events, this is really sneaky, by the way. I should charge money for this info. So, let's say you are at an event and people are playing the game. I would go in, I would like take the headphones, and I would be like kind of blending in. I'd be like, oh right, and I'm like, oh man, what do you think about the sounds? And if someone's like, yeah, they're shit. Okay. Like if they don't know it's you will most probably get a good answer from people. But they're like, that's a bit weird. But if it's like, shit, yeah, the railgun sounded so fat. So you're like, yeah, shit's good. Like, there's so many ways to kind of find out. But when it comes to iterations, I have to say, I learned a lot while working on Nuclear Throne, actually. So we did the whole, we released the update every week. Like, end of every week we released the update in early access. And I did a few placeholders, and it was just placeholders. I hated the sounds, but then like, people are like, when I changed them to actual sounds, like what I wanted in the game, people are like, oh, you changed the sound, what the hell? And it's like, that's when I learned to not do placeholders. So these days, I pretty much don't do placeholders. I will never, like, I will just do what I had in mind, and then I would bring that. And I'll use a file that I think is kind of final, unless it feels wrong in the game. Then I would just iterate on that. But like these days, I don't really give placeholders. If I say it's placeholder, it just means that I'm not confident in what I just did. If you hire me and I ever say that, it's a placeholder. That's a hand?
Last question.
Oh, okay.
Rock, paper, scissors. Okay.
Okay, I'm just curious. When you work on other projects, like professional projects, do you have tools to like? I know you have tools to create sounds, but in the game engine itself, do you also expect to have some sort of tools to modify, like when should it be played, or at certain events, or?
Like I talked in my talk, like it's all up to the limitation of the game. Like let's say it's a game maker game, I kind of expect not seeing any tools and just like working on top. Like I design around like the audio engine that's doing stuff. But if I'm working on, let's say, a game like Badland, where we are using Fmod, like Fmod Designer or Fmod Studio, then I would kind of design the game around like those limitations. So, like in a game like Badland, I would like design the sound so that I know that I can go in the game engine, like a level editors or whatever, and then adjust the sounds there. But it's something like Nuclear Throne, where it's just like something happened, play sound. I would design everything around that. So just keep in mind what your limitations are and design around those things. That, I think, was the last question.